What's up, guys? We're about to go on a Grom run. No, I'm just kidding, dude. Look what I went ahead and freaking bought. I bought a 2023 klx300 Supermoto, and I tried to film this video yesterday of me rolling off the lot with it. It was all cool, but it was really windy, and half of the videos were in time lapse, so I kind of screwed it up. Check this out. Let's just look at this. No carburetor stuff, no nothing. Let's just, wow, that's nice. That is nice. So it's bone stock. The only thing I've done is cut that off because it was hanging like way down here. You barely had to go back to hit it in a wheelie, so I had to cut that off. Rear end, that just looks terrible, honestly. This is gonna all have to be changed, but besides that, I am pretty stoked on the bike. We're gonna go on a little ride here. I'm just going to tell you my first impressions and how much I love it, basically. We're off the bike here. Just want to tell you my first thing I don't like, which is going to be hard to get around with stock bike from the dealer. The exhaust is huge. It's got a big old catalytic converter. It's got an O2 sensor in it. It's got a charcoal canister down there, and it's got some sort of secondary throttle thing I'm sure you've heard about if you've ever looked into these klx300s. It's like right in there, but it's, I guess it's something to do with on decel, it shoots more air into the exhaust or something, so less exhaust fumes go into the atmosphere. So all of that is gonna come off, which, you know, I don't like that, but at the same time I almost do like it because it makes it more fun to change it up, and you get to ride it stock and then change a couple things, and it's exciting to see how it performs after you do it. So it's not that big of a deal. Look at this freaking guy. One thing I also really like, it's got a fan on it, which is sweet. I had to put that on this one. Obviously that's a 2008, but don't have to worry about overheating. We got about 64 miles on it all yesterday. I rode those miles. We hit highway, we did some wheelies, we hit some jumps, and the very first thing, I mean, as soon as I sat on the bike, as soon as I started riding it, these bars are horrible. I mean, they are just horrendous. The first thing to go is going to be these bars. I was already looking at some this morning. They're just so bad. They're small. I don't know. I don't like them at all. The seat, I heard a lot of other people knocking on it. Man, I love the seat so far. I mean, I probably rode a good hour and a half straight yesterday with minimal, you know, I stopped every now and then, minimal stopping, and it is comfy. I mean, compared to my 450, which I thought that seat was actually pretty decent compared to like Kyle's WR, and this one's even better. So I don't know what, I mean, I don't know how good people expect these seats to be. I mean, obviously it's not my Grom seat, but it's still a kind of a dirt bike. So seat, I think, is incredible. Some people were saying that they're not very highway capable and you're not going to be doing wheelies and it's like a very tame bike. Yeah, it's tame, but first of all, if you can't do wheelies on it, that's on you. That's not the bike. I mean, I can get the Grom up in third gear, so to say that you're not going to go doing wheelies on it is ridiculous. Obviously you're not going to power wheelie third gear. You're going to have to try, but it's fully capable to do some wheelies. We'll hit the highway here in a little bit, but I was cruising 70 no problem. We were at about 6,800 RPM, so you know, it was up there. Here, I'll give you a wheelie. Fully capable of doing wheelies. Still trying to get used to it. The street tire throws me off a little bit. Only other complaint I've had so far, from the factory at least, is the rear tire seems really skinny. I think it's like a 130. I don't remember, but it's like barely wider than the rim, the wheel itself. So I think if I well, once these tires wear out, I'll probably try to, I'm sure you could fit a 140 on there, no problem, which is probably what I'll do. I just thought it was a little skinny. The front one's fine. Front brake, do a little stoppy for you. But front brake is amazing, oh my gosh, compared to the KLX. Rear brake, I think it might still be braking in, but I have not been a fan of so far. For wheelies, I don't have very much confidence in it, but I'm sure once it breaks in, seats a little more, it'll be pretty good. So I think those are my main complaints so far that I've found. A lot of people complain about it not having a gas gauge. I don't really personally care because my dirt bike doesn't have one. My dirt bike doesn't even have a gas light. So I'm not I don't really care about that. And I don't know, some people want like a real fancy gauge cluster. I also don't really care about that. I care about doing wheelies and stoppies and having fun. I don't really care about all the dumb bells and whistles. Mirrors are awesome. I usually take them off, but I think I will actually leave them on this bike because they work really well, and I like to see when somebody is coming up behind me so I don't get rear-ended. Suspension, it's a little soft, but I feel like once again, you know, stock from the dealer. I'm a 200-pound dude, and then with gear and stuff, you know, I'm probably around 210. All the suspension's probably going to be a little soft for the most part. You're always going to have to tune your suspension to your liking and your weight. So like, that's another thing I see people complaining about, and it's like, well, it's always going to be like that, you know. Obviously you could find ones that are probably better from the factory, but I can't really complain about that because going into it, I kind of figure I'm gonna have to, you know, adjust it to my liking. I'm about 5'10". I can flat foot this thing real easily. I've never really had a big issue with seat height, but I mean, I have my knees are bent and I can flat foot. So if you're a little shorter, you could probably still flat foot, and if you're a little taller, you'll just be flat footing even more on the flat ground. Let's do another wheelie, dude. Making the turn, bruh. Turning again. Oh yeah, let's hit some turns. It's so nice having street tires on like a dirt bike. Another nice thing about this one is it does have rubber on the foot pegs. I don't really personally care about that. They are small, man. They're like really close to the bike. I feel like I'm always kind of hanging off them. So these are probably gonna go, and I'll probably get just a little longer would have been nice. Like the size of my KLX, just some dirt bike, like regular dirt bike pegs would be nice. I was here yesterday, but the video sucked. So let's hit a couple jumps, dude. Woohoo! I'm gonna blast it again. Hit it with some heat. Oh yeah, that was sick. Man, this thing's too much fun. Too much fun, dude. Oh. Those kids were stoked. She was like, what? This is why you get some big arms. You just pick it up and fucking... Supermoto can go anywhere. Oh, yeah. Better get out of here though, because There's only one way in, one way out, which means if a copper blocked me off in here, I would be fudged. Fill this bad girl up. Let's see. $2, $3, $4. What? Oh, damn. Must have not been that low. Thought I had a 2-gallon tank. I guess not. Fill it up to the brim. And you gotta hit the button, squeeze it, get that last little bit. Oh yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. So I guess it's about probably a 1.5 gallon tank. I thought it was 2. Another thing I've kind of noticed, this thing almost has like a little power band, like right at about, I'd say 6 to 8, it really starts pulling. Here we are going up a pretty steep hill, headwind, my fat ass, and we're doing 70, and we're in 5th gear, so there's still 6 too. But I am about pinned at 70 here, so it gives you a little reference on the power. But that is a good hill, and we have a pretty damn heavy headwind. So at 70, you're at about 7,000 RPMs, which I don't think is bad. So I think you could comfortably cruise 70 miles an hour for as long as you want it. 65 definitely. So I just had it just dropped the gear. I shifted into 6th and it dropped down back into 5th. First time that's happened to me. I don't know why. It is still braking in, and they probably have that crappy braking oil in it. But once I put some Motul, it's the only thing I ever run in it, it'll shift a lot better, hopefully. Look at the freaking view walking up the trail. Tired. We've made it. This is the top. I'm dying. It's a longer hike than I remembered, actually. What the heck is this, man? Gosh. People just have no care for the world. Just littering all over. We're heading down the mountain behind these other bikers, but I just wanted to end the video on a bunch of other videos I watched. Everyone was like, this is I would say this is a beginner bike to intermediate, this and that. This bike is what you make it to be. I mean, you can be an expert on this bike and ride it freaking sick, you know, and you can also be a beginner on like a 450 supermoto and ride it like shit. So I don't think saying that this is like a I mean, I guess, yeah, it would be a good bike to start on. I could say that, but I wouldn't say just because you have been riding bikes for a while and are good on a bike to not buy this bike because it's a beginner bike. Like, that makes no sense. And those of you that have been riding for a while probably already know that anyway. But I just wanted to say that because I see all these videos and they're like, yeah, it's a beginner or intermediate. I probably wouldn't buy it if you were above that. That's just ridiculous. Obviously, it's not going to do 100 and whatever miles an hour, and if that's what you want to do, then yes, I would not buy this bike. But like I said, like and subscribe. We're going to do a whole series on this, taking the emissions off and exhaust, probably doing Willie's video. That's going to be the end of this video. I hope you liked it, and we will see you next video. Oh.